Okay, this is the Fat Man. This is one of the few extant bomb casings left. This is at the War Museum of the Pacific. This is the kind that they dropped on Nagasaki. Hiroshima had the other kind. So here's a picture of the devastation caused in Nagasaki by this bomb, or the brother of this bomb. And so an atomic bomb works. There's two explosions. There's a primary explosion that there's a bunch of RDX. It's about that deep in there, and then the casing's about that wide. And then there's in this case plutonium in the middle, and then there's a void space where it can be pushed together. So there's initial explosion, and then the secondary explosion is the big one. That's where the fission occurs. So there's an implosion and then an explosion. And you can see the devastation that it did. Now, it's kind of thought that the second atomic bomb, you can't actually get a straight answer on. And here it is as it's being welded together before they painted it. Here's Nagasaki. The only real military plant was further down here. There was the Mitsubishi. If you follow this river here down to the sea, there was the Mitsubishi plant, and that was really the only viable military target in Nagasaki. So there's three theories on it. One, that they just got lost and dropped it on whatever city they could when they were near it. Two, that they meant to hit further down that river where the naval shipyard was. But you got to remember, at the time, the Japanese Navy was crippled anyway. The Air Force was crippled. Now their Army was pretty much intact, but they dropped it there, and then, of course, there's the theory that they got lost and they meant to bomb totally another target. I hold to another theory, simply because the people that run the world, and it's going to come out this February, I believe, are generational Satanists. And one of the reasons they picked Nagasaki was called Little Rome back then. It was the center of Christianity, specifically Roman Catholicism, in Japan, and that was the reason they picked it. The older I get, the more I think that was the actual reason they picked Nagasaki for the second. There wasn't any real reason militarily wise to do it. I also like to bring up the difference between a hydrogen bomb and an atomic bomb. Hydrogen bomb, actually, I've already covered the two phases of a atomic bomb. A hydrogen bomb has three phases. So you have an RDX implosion to set off the atomic bomb. Then the atomic bomb causes a further implosion, which causes a fusion between hydrogen atoms to produce helium. And the resultant conflagration causes fusion, which releases a lot more energy than nuclear fission in a normal atomic bomb. So that's the difference between a normal atomic bomb has a primary and a secondary explosion. The secondary one being the big one, and then a hydrogen bomb has three. The third explosion being the biggest. If you like this, please like, subscribe, and share. If you want to look more on those theories of why the bombings occurred as they did, look into the work of Douglas Dietrich. That's like you would spell it like Diet Rich. And if you would, I'd like you to do things like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. I'm out.